If you want a V8 powered manual transmission sedan, you currently only have one choice, and thankfully it is a epic, fantastic choice, the Cadillac CT5-V Blackwing. Cadillac V Series just celebrated its 20th anniversary, and they have done a mid-cycle refresh to the CT5 lineup, including the CT5V and of course the Blackwing. We have new front fascia styling and lighting, interior updates, and for the first time ever, there was a Blackwing Precision Package, which enhances the driving dynamics, the performance on track. We are down at Atlanta Motorsports Park to try out the updated CT5V and Blackwing, and that means we get to try this thing out on the track, which is always quite exciting. In terms of the powertrain, the Blackwing still has that epic 6.2-liter supercharged V8, the LT4, making 668 horsepower and 659 pound-feet of torque. It is still rear-wheel drive only and available with that 6-speed manual transmission or an optional 10-speed automatic. So today, we're going to be driving this on the road, on the track. We're going to get a hot lap. Quite excited. All right, this is a treat. We are now in the updated Blackwing with Jordan Taylor, so legit race car driver, going for a hot lap. So I haven't even gotten the drive on the track yet, so this is a good appetizer, right? What do you think of the car?
Oh, I love it.
Yeah?
Yeah, it feels, usually a road car feels a little lazy and non-responsive, but they've done a great job with this one. It feels as close to a race car as I think you can get.
That's high praise. Can you talk me through the lap?
Yeah, so coming up turn 6, big brake zone, down to second gear. We're in the automatic in this one, so it's doing all the work for us. Using a bit of TC coming out. Up and over this blind crest, flat out down the hill. 110 miles an hour coming in. Another big brake zone, quick left. But you gotta get right back over this side of the track to set up for this downhill. Big compression here. We'll back up, slowest corner on the track. Blind again, and right back to the left. A lot of guys use all the road here, but I like to kind of hold it inside to get back to power early and aggressive. And now we're in this giant long carousel. Easy to kind of get lost. There's no real references. Flat coming out, letting the TC do the work. Just over some big bumps, car handles it totally fine. Super predictable. Run straight, big brake zone. I think about 130 miles an hour top speed. Big brake zone. And this is my favorite section, little chicane switchback, just a lift. Brake after the first apex. Climbing over the curbs, and then into another little bit of a carousel. Kind of use the throttle to rotate the car here a little bit. What do you think?
It's always fun riding with somebody who knows how to handle a car like you do. It is a really tight technical track too.
It's super tight.
Yeah, and I love the elevation.
Yeah. Kind of like a little roller coaster.
Yeah.
Especially since you don't know where we're going yet.
Yes. I didn't even get a chance to watch a video. I was trying to look at one of the aerial views. I'm like, where does this track actually go?
But you can't see the elevation change.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very technical.
That's awesome. So what's your personal car that you drive?
CT5.
CT5, okay.
But I want to get my hand on a Blackwing.
Yes, you should. Well, you're racing for Cadillac again. You should be part of the deal.
Exactly. It's fast through there, isn't it?
Jeez. Have you gotten to try precision and non-precision?
Yeah.
What do you feel the difference is?
I think the precision is just a little bit more responsive.
Okay.
I prefer it because it's a little bit more nimble.
Okay.
I think the non-precision for the track, it has a tiny bit more understeer, so it's a little bit more stable.
Okay.
I think for coming from race cars, you want it to be more nimble on the edge, and I think the Precision Package does a good balance of both.
Yeah, because you guys typically prefer oversteer, right?
Yeah, for sure. If you have like diabolical understeer, it's miserable.
Yeah.
But like with this car, like through that chicane, you can be so aggressive, and there's no instability, but it's still got responsiveness on the front end.
What's your favorite track?
Road Atlanta.
Road Atlanta.
Yeah. Have you been there?
I have not.
It's another one with a lot of elevation as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about favorite European track?
I've only been to Le Mans.
Oh, okay, that's a pretty good one to do, right?
Yeah. So I'll say Le Mans is my favorite.
Oh man.
Yeah.
What was the most memorable part of that experience?
Le Mans?
The fatigue, or like what stood out to you the most after it?
I mean, just the history of the event. Like you feel it when you get there, like the aura of it. Like the crowd is so big.
Yeah.
They play all the anthems before the race. It's just more nostalgic than a lot of other events.
It's got history for sure. Well, that was fun.
Yeah. And we survived.
I mean, for a luxury sedan, the fact that you can do stuff like that is just, it's crazy, right?
Yeah. And then you can drive it home.
Yeah, absolutely. And if I wanted to, I could have massage seats the whole time too, right? Well, thank you, Jordan. Appreciate it. Good luck.
Thank you.
Next year of the season.
Thank you. No worries.
We start our track session with an automatic transmission equipped regular Blackwing. So this does not have the Precision Package. And we did a lead follow lap already, a couple of them to learn the track. This is my first time here, and it is a very tight, technical, elevated track, right? A lot of elevation, which is fun, which is a lot of fun. Now, actually, it's kind of nice to have the automatic one as you're learning a track and a car on track, because it takes out the variable of having to shift. Well, this car it's a beast for being a luxury sedan, right? It's kind of crazy what this thing will do on track. All right, up this hill, dab of brakes, turn in. There's that apex of the blind corner. We have the left-hander here, touch that apex into this big carousel, which we've been warned, cars can get a little unsettled, and we'll be able to feel the difference between the Precision Package and the regular. So all the Blackwings come standard with all the fantastic GM performance hardware you would expect. So that's magnetic ride, it's got the ELSD. I don't know if I was supposed to take the brakes there, actually. This is just the carrying it through. All right, and the cool thing is trying out the new PDR system. So I've done a lap now, I should store it, and it has huge improvements. That's one of the big things they're proud of with this new generation of PDR. I totally took the wrong line there. It's hard to talk and drive on a new track at the same time. But this new generation PDR is vastly enhanced. So not only do you have more data in front of your eyes, it has driver coaching on the go. So it'll analyze your driving, your turns, and tell you whether you're going faster or slower. It'll break down the corners. It's essentially all the fantastic telemetry kind of coaching data you would want that would require a laptop, but now it's all built into the vehicle, and they're taking advantage of this huge new 33-inch display to present it for you. So right now, because I'm doing a lap that's been timed already, it'll do a delta comparison, but I think I need to do a full lap first before it will do that. But it'll tell you which turns you have the most opportunity to make up some time, suggest braking differences, line differences when you're getting on the throttle. It's pretty cool stuff. Makes me a little sad that my Z06, I believe, is not going to have something like this. Oh man. The power this thing has is pretty stupendous. All right, I'm trying to pay attention. You can see it's currently showing my delta. All right, we are now heading out onto track in the Precision Package, which is new for this updated CT5-V Blackwing, and it's supposed to be what it says, a Precision Package. Increase the precision of the Blackwing. The impetus behind it apparently was they had a CT4 Blackwing that somebody was racing, an SCCA, and they just liked everything they did to the car. It was phenomenal. They wanted to apply it to the bigger brother Blackwing here, but apparently that car was running like ZL11LE DSSV dampers, which are not comfortable, and that's not Cadillac, right? It still needs to be comfortable enough. But they did a lot, but then not a lot to change this thing. It's really just what you would do to make a vehicle handle better on track. So a ton of suspension changes. Everything from, we got a bigger front stabilizer bar, we got revised bushings, we have new front steering knuckles and rear suspension toe links to make the, you have much more aggressive camber setup. Actually has a special billet piece that actually looks really cool. You can see that out back. Most of the changes you can't see, like changing suspension bushings and stuff, but you can see this big billet piece out back to have a more aggressive track camber setup. But the other really big pieces are the tires and the brakes. So you have to get the carbon ceramic brakes for the Precision Package, and it comes on Cup 2R tires. Yeah, Cup 2R tires on a Cadillac Blackwing sedan, which is a bit crazy. That's a very aggressive track compound tire, right? You can get PS4S tires when you order it, because if you want to drive this on the street, you're not going to really want to use Cup 2Rs. I took the Cup 2Rs off my Z06 essentially immediately. This is actually the first lap out on these, so I'm letting them come up to temperature. Cup 2Rs are very sticky, very sticky. But when they're grippy, they're very grippy, so it's kind of cool. This one's got the automatic transmission equipped. And then the other big piece that ties everything together for the Precision Package that would be really difficult, borderline impossible to do by yourself in the aftermarket, because you can change suspension components and tires and brakes and so forth. It's the calibration of the ELSD, your magnetic ride, all the chassis controls, the traction control, stability control, everything together that only an OEM would have the ability to calibrate and do, that comes together to make this thing a little sharper. We're on a track right now, so this is the ideal situation to test this thing out. But immediately the first thing I'm noticing is the steering feels a little more reactive, and the front end just a little bit more nimble. Every time I've driven a CT4 Blackwing, I'm like, this thing is great. It's all I need. It's so much fun. It's nimble. It's tossable. And then I drive the CT5-V Blackwing, and I'm like, but V8. V8 is always going to be more fun. The noises, the power, everything. But without a doubt, the CT4-V Blackwing was just a little bit more nimbler of a car. And what the engineers were telling me was, well, drive the Precision Package tomorrow on track, and you're going to have the CT4 Blackwing in the CT5 package. I was like, really? One of the crazy cool facts they spit out was there's this rear suspension cradle bushing that's over 1,000% stiffer than in the non-Precision Package. That's just a pretty hilarious spec. It's a little less like the sideways wiggliness. That's a very technical way to describe it, right? The sideways wiggliness. But that's all the suspension bushings and those changes. All right, we are now on track in a manual-equipped Precision Package Blackwing. We've got the rev match downshifts on. Now time to have some fun. So the 10-speed auto probably is going to be faster on track. And on track, you're just going to, I feel like most of this is second gear, just did a out lap. But there's something about being in a manual transmission, 668 horsepower, luxury sedan, that's special. They don't exist anymore. This is it. I do like this precision package. Oh, there's traction control. And this manual transmission is phenomenal. I like this Tremec quite a lot. Oh, this is fun. This is very fun. The tires make a huge difference. The Cup 2Rs versus PS4S. And the other thing that you cannot deny is the fact that the Blackwing is still a reasonable weight, which is pretty phenomenal. Current weight of this thing is just over 4,100 pounds, whereas the new M5 is 5,390 pounds, right? Because of the hybrid system. Which is pretty ridiculous when you think about it, that it's over 1,200 pounds heavier. Over 1,200 pounds heavier that's a lot. That is indeed a lot. Let's take a quick moment and take the updated CT5-V for a drive. It also has a new front fascia, the new lighting. It's not quite as aggressive as the Blackwing, but still looks very nice, especially in this green paint. Typhoon metallic, such a cool paint color. On the inside, we also have the new infotainment screen. So let's hop in and go for a quick drive. We are in a V, so launch control. Not bad. So the CT5-V still has the same powertrain setup. It's a 3-liter twin-turbo V6 making 360 horsepower and 405 pound-feet of torque, 10-speed automatic transmission. It is rear-wheel drive, but available with all-wheel drive. And this is, again, the mid-tier sporty model. V has changed. Blackwing is the top one. That's kind of the previous generation V that we think of. V is what V Sport used to be, so mid-tier blend of sporty and still luxurious. But it's got some, decently sporty credentials. That 10-speed gives you some pretty punchy upshifts when you're in a track mode or sport mode. Magnetic Ride ensures that this handles well and still rides very comfortably, and you have a lot of stuff as standard, from Super Cruise, your massage seats, heated cooled seats. It's got a nice AKG sound system, and the highlight is the new infotainment screen on the inside. This big 33-inch curved display, which has some very, very nice graphics. We can also, if we go home, we can show the V Performance pages, which has a lot of cool info there too, and this also has the updated PDR. So overall, the CT5-V, again, is the mid-tier one, but it provides a really nice blend of sportiness, all-around usability. I had a very good friend who had a pre-refresh CT5-V as her daily driver in Michigan and Chicago, and she really enjoyed it, right? A much more friendly price point than the Blackwing, just much more all-rounded vehicle. Price point, it's still below $60,000. You can option up with a couple different packages, and I personally also really like this paint finish. So there we go, quick drive in the regular CT5-V. Now back to the Blackwing. Let's take an exterior and interior tour of the updated Blackwing and check out some of the changes. So the front fascia is completely different with all new lighting, which has this really cool welcome animation. Check this out. This is one of my favorite parts of the new front end styling. That welcome animation is quite cool. You still have that signature Cadillac kind of blade DRL, that up and down piece there. The overall aero target had to stay the same, which is a really interesting thing because they had to redesign the whole front end, but they had to keep it balanced because the rear of the car is still the same. So even though this thing looks different, it's got the same aero target and quite aggressive and functional. So many intakes in that grille to feed and cool the supercharged V8 back there. This one is finished in this cool metallic red paint. It's definitely a very nice spec with the bronze wheels and the matching red brake calipers, but I personally am very partial for two of the new colors. You have Drift Metallic and Typhoon Metallic, the light baby blue and the green. Those two both look really awesome too. This one's got the carbon pack too, carbon 1 and 2, so you see the carbon splitter up front. We're on the PS4S tires. They're 275s up front, 19-inch wheels. Out back, I believe they're 305s, also 19-inch wheels. And the fact you can get Cup 2Rs is pretty crazy. Around back, it's essentially carryover. Again, the carbon packs of the wing back here, diffuser below, along with the quad exhaust tips. You have a V Blackwing badge on this side. I wish they had done a wagon version. That would have been so cool. After, I guess it was 2 generations ago, we haven't had a CTS-V wagon for quite a while, nor did we get a coupe, just sedan for the last 2 generations. This as a wagon would be cool. But regardless, these updates to the front end are so aggressive. It looks so cool. One more look at that lighting animation. That's a cool welcome sequence. Be even cooler at night. One of the big differences between the Blackwing and the regular CT5V is up front. This has a wider front track to accommodate those wider tires, more aggressive everything, right? So you have this extra piece here because these fenders are wider. So that's one way to tell the difference between a Blackwing and a regular. Now the interior, because we have a lot of changes too. Nice V door sill plate here. This is the Sky Cool Gray with black two-tone interior. We have the red stitching too. Oh, and these are the carbon seats. So take a look at that. The entire back of the seat is carbon fiber with the V logo there. Those are cool. They're heated, cooled, massage. The big update on the inside is this new 33-inch display, which is pretty awesome. You have your digital cluster here in the middle, and then it seamlessly flows over to the infotainment here, which still has Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. You can pull up our different camera views. There's the overhead view, your standard view here, and then we've got the latest PDR system, which these updates are really, really nice. This next-gen PDR, quite impressive, dash cam mode and so forth. This was fun to try out on track and do the comparison afterwards. We also have these V performance displays here. You got your power, torque, boost displays. Give it a couple revs. And then you have a dyno graph display, which is also very cool. It does this like history trace over time of your dyno display. We've got our friction circle here, ELSD coupling, and you can change these little tiles. There's temperatures, tire pressure, the friction circle, G-force. You can change all of these, so that's really cool. So the graphics are quite nice. Check out when I change the different drive modes here. So that's sport. Here's tour. We'll go down into sport, track, snow, ice, and my mode. Very nice graphics. Your center cluster also changes when you change your different modes. You can also go, this little corner here is a touchscreen, so we can change the gauges, whether it's link to drive mode or manually change them. Here's tour, here is sport, and here's track with your horizontal tachometer across the middle, and then some other important vehicle info from tire pressures, temperatures, everything there. We can also go to an assist view, although this one is a manual transmission, so no Super Cruise. If you get an automatic 10-speed CT5V or Blackwing, you get 3 years of Super Cruise as standard. There's a clean, like minimalist display, and you can have the map fully take over. Other stuff is carryover. We have the 6-speed manual shifter here with the 3D printed insert, which is pretty cool. Your drive mode selector here, rev match, traction control, a lot of carbon fiber here too, wireless phone charger, your AC controls, your climate controls right here. We have heated, cooled seats, the steering wheel. We've got our PTM dial here, the V mode, a button where you can quickly set up your V mode settings, digital rear view mirror. This one's got the suede headliner. I still think this is a quite nice interior. It may not have all the crazy bells and whistles of some more expensive luxury cars, but it has all the important things. This new display is really, really nice, and you still have a 6-speed manual shifter, and that's what's most important. This is a cool opportunity to compare 3 Blackwings that are the same exterior color, but have other differences to the way they are spec'd. So this one has the bronze wheels with the red brake calipers, and we have the carbon aero pack. And on the inside, we have the light gray with the black and red contrast. This one here has the saddle tan interior with the black contrast. It does not have the carbon aero package and has a different wheel design with the bronze brake calipers. And then the last one here has another wheel design. This one also has red brake calipers, but on the inside, we've got the black with the red seat belts, and it's got the white accent piping with some red stitching too. So 3 of the same color Blackwings, but a lot of different interior and wheel and brake caliper color options. All right, we are now on the road in a Blackwing with the 6-speed manual transmission and the Precision Package. Finished up our track session, which was definitely quite a lot of fun. Once I stopped trying to talk and drive fast at the same time, because I don't have the brain power to handle that, and just focused on driving, I was able to get much more comfortable on the track, in the car, turn a couple laps that I was much happier with. There is a quite noticeable difference between the Precision Pack and the regular Blackwing, especially on the track. The confidence that the Precision Package gave was properly impressive. Now, a lot of that is going to be Cup 2R tires, which are a fantastic track compound tire. On the street, I am much happier to be on PS4S tires, especially when this is a vehicle that you want to drive when it rains or when it's a little bit chilly out and so forth, right? The Precision Package just was much more stable, planted. I really liked the steering change. So even on the street right now, the steering feels better, right? It just feels a little more stable and confidence inspiring. When you're going through a turn, you can just input the turn and set it and you're good to go. And it just feels more planted down. At the same time though, it's still comfortable. So this is the Precision Package equipped car, and on these roads with magnetic ride dampers, it still is comfortable. Sometimes when cars go too hardcore track focused, they're not comfortable. The ZL1 Rental E comes to mind, the Camaro Z28, so GM vehicles they've done in the past, and oh boy, were they firm. But this is still very much Cadillac feeling, which is a good thing. Oh yes. We have rev match downshifts, no lift shifts. Wow. Every time I drive one of these, I just remember why I love this car so much. It's just such a enjoyable driver's car in every single way. You have the power, you have the sound, the handling, the dynamics. I talked about it when I was on the track, but the fact that this only weighs 4,100 something pounds, I say only because cars in this segment are getting so unbelievably heavy. The BMW M5, the latest gen M5, is over 1,200 pounds heavier than this thing, right? It's 5,390 pound curb weight, something like that. That is immense. It got slower than the previous generation. Yeah, cool, it has 700 something horsepower, right? But it got slower. This is still a driver's car. The fact that rear-wheel drive only, manual transmission. I came into this drive, honestly, a little bit skeptical about the Precision Package, because the way I viewed it was, if you can afford something like the Blackwing, right, you could probably buy a sports car, and I'm lucky to be in that position. I have my Z06, and that thing is a phenomenally fun car, whether it's track, curvy roads, day-to-day sports car type of stuff, and it will always be better. So do I really need my luxury sedan to have that level of track capability? So I definitely was skeptical. It will cost more. I'm like, maybe it'll compromise it for the road a little bit and so forth. But now driving it, I think I'm a little bit converted. It is going to cost quite a bit of money to get this. A big part of it is the fact that you have to get carbon ceramic brakes in order to order the Precision Package. And I mean, Cup 2R tires, if you're doing what we did earlier on the track, yeah, you'll want to use the Cup 2R tires, but if you want to drive it on the street, you're going to order the PS4Ss or just get the Cup 2Rs and immediately swap to PS4S tires. It does make a difference, even on the street. I think just the steering feel, I like that. I like that a lot. It's very precise, so and there's definitely a noticeable difference back-to-back with the non-Precision Pack car. And we got to go back-to-back, both manual transmission and automatic transmission on track. I still had plenty of fun with the non-Precision Package car. It's still extremely capable, but it just feels a little more unsettled, seems to be too harsh of a word, but just playful, right? There's a little more motion and so forth, and the Precision Package lives up to the name. And this engine is just beastly. Oh my gosh, the power and torque at all moments. Total different personality from my Z06, which you have to rev it very, very high for the feel like you're going anywhere, right? This just is a mountain of torque down low, and the pull is stupendous. And I think it fits the personality of this quite well. In terms of pricing, the Blackwing still starts under $100,000. It's in the $95,000, $96,000 range. Now that has gone up by a couple $1,000s over the years since this generation first came out. But compared to other competitors, other luxury performance sedans, it's still a phenomenal bargain. RS7 performance, the M5, there is no E63 right now, but even the previous generation, those started in the low 120-ish range, and like you really couldn't get one for under $130,000, any decent one. That's kind of the top end of the Blackwing. Yeah, you can option these up. The carbon package, if you do carbon 1 and carbon 2, that's probably around $12,000 on its own. And then you do have options like PDR, you can get carbon ceramic brakes, now you have the precision package, we have the upgraded seats in this one and so forth. But even if you load up a CT5 Blackwing decently, 120, 130, maybe mid 130s if you load it seriously, that I think is still a phenomenal value. And especially when you consider the fact that if what you value is rear-wheel drive, manual transmission, and still not saddled with a 5,000-pound curb weight, then this is the best. This is the absolute best. When I first saw the update on this one, I was like, cool, I want to buy one. I texted my girlfriend when I got here. I was like, I want one. Because the only minor, tiniest little complaints I had with the pre-refresh was the screen. I was like, the screen feels a little bit dated, you know? And now they've updated the screens. It's state of the art. Like, this is a really cool display. The PDR functionality, the graphics, the visuals. We still have CarPlay on this year, which is definitely nice. Built-in Google Maps. Like, this is a very, very nice 33-inch display here. But everything else that's important has stayed. They didn't mess anything up. Hasn't gone all-wheel drive. They haven't added weight. It's not hybridized or whatever. Any of that type of stuff, right? The formula stays essentially exactly the same. And the front end lighting upgrade I think is pretty cool too. The welcome sequence, the updated fascia looks nice and aggressive, and you can still buy this with a good 6-speed manual. Yeah. Oh! What a car. End of an era. V-Series is changing. Cadillac V-Series, 20 years, but the first ever electrified V-Series wearing vehicle is coming, the Lyric V, which I'm still very torn over. It is kind of confusing to me that a V-Series car can be everything from the CT5-V we just drove, the Lyric V, right, which we don't know anything about the performance specs quite yet, and the Escalade V, and then you have the Blackwing at the very, very top in its technical little subgroup, right? So they're kind of going through a change, but if this is the way the internal combustion Blackwing has to go out, I'm gonna own one. I want one. So there we go. First drive of the updated Cadillac CT5-V Blackwing, including a quick spin, and the regular CT5-V. It's such a fantastic machine. It's been updated, but they kept the important things that made this just such an epic and fun luxury performance sedan to drive. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Check out some of the other ones I did with the pre-refresh version of this Blackwing, and comment below, should I buy one? This would be a pretty cool garage buddy for the Z06. Nice daily driver, manual, supercharged rear-wheel drive. Sounds like quite a lot of fun. Thanks for watching.